Hi everybody, it's Saturday morning, it's the Soap Man, and it's time to make some soap. Now I just cut and posted a video yesterday, and I'm doing it again. I tell you, I had earlier said, because I'm not doing the street ministry that often, I'd earlier said I'm just going to be soaping a couple times a month, and truth is, this is a hobby. You just can't cut back on a hobby, and I'm kind of missing it. Wanted to try something different today. I'm not doing anything spectacular, but I'm trying a new scent and a new color from Nurture Soap. Now, some of you who know me may be thinking, Nurture Soap? Well, yes, I am a big Brambleberry fan. I have a very big order from Brambleberry on the way. Brambleberry has great products, but why limit it just to Brambleberry? I'm still faithful there, but why limit it just to Brambleberry? Also, probably if there is a drawback to Brambleberry is that I live in West Virginia, and Brambleberry is in northern Washington state, so it costs a lot of money to ship that far, and it takes over a week to get it shipped that far. So it's going to be next weekend before my shipment even gets here. And Nurture Soap is like a 5-hour drive from here. I also have something from Nature's Garden, but we'll get into that later. So anyway, I'm experimenting with something from Nurture Soap. This is Neon Purple Pigment. I saw this that somebody else used in one of her soaps, and I love the color. And I went ahead and ordered it and didn't even check out the reviews. And a lot of people posted that this morphs into a pink. And Nurture Soap came and posted sometime just earlier this month in January that if it gets very hot, yes it does. So I'm going to try and keep this cool. Normally I like a hot gel, but I'm soaping at just warm temperatures. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and see if it stays true to color. And if it turns pink, what I'm using this for won't matter. This is also Star Showers. I gotta be honest, it's not exactly what I expected. I can't even really truly describe it. It is kind of I don't know, I just really don't know how to describe this. To say I don't like it's not true. I do like it, it's just not what I expected. Let's just go ahead and get started. I'm following pretty much by the rules. Also, the recipe, this is almost exactly Katie Carson's recipe from Royalty Soap. She always posts her recipe in percentages, so I cut it down to fit my column mold, my silicone column mold. I am doing 20 ounces of oil. I'm going to put some black shredded confetti into it. She always posts her recipe. It's pretty simple, and I'll post mine. The only difference is hers calls for sweet almond oil. I don't use nut oils at all in my soap, just for fear that there might be an allergy, somebody who doesn't realize they have it. So I used apricot kernel instead of sweet almond, and apricot kernel is a very, very similar in properties. So let's just get started. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put my color directly into the oils because it's the only color I'm using. And the recommended usage rate for 20 ounces of oil is 1 1/4 teaspoon. So there's the 1 teaspoon. And there, let's see, here is the 1/4. There we go. I'll clean those out later. I haven't even cleaned up from soaping earlier this week. So there that is. Just go ahead and mix that in just a little bit. Very pretty in the oils. Let's get my lye in, and I'm wanting a pretty thick trace for this because I want it to suspend that confetti soap. And this scent oil, supposedly, according to Nurture Soap, behaves very well. No discoloration, no acceleration, no ricing. That's what I'm hoping for. So here we go. Let's make a little noise. This container is a little bit shallow for this smaller batch. I thought it would be just right. A little shallow. And I'm really wanting a thick trace with this, so we're going to go on and do some more. And I'm whipping a ton of air into it, so that's not good. I'll have to stir some of that out. Let's go ahead and get the scent in. And even though it does not accelerate, stick blending with the scent oil generally does speed it up some with any scent oil, even in a well-behaving one. Let's see how that helps. That did stir some of the air bubbles out. One thing I also did, excuse me, sorry. One thing I also did differently is that I used SoCalc.net's lye calculator instead of Brambleberry's. Now the lye amount was exactly on the dot. SoCalc does use a higher percentage of water, which I often reduce to try and lessen the chance of glycerin rivers, but I'm not too concerned about it in this. And I think that extra water and the cool temp, it's just barely warm, I think that has given me the extra time to work with this, because this is thick the way I want it, and I've done a lot of stick blending, as you can see, so I'm going to have to keep that in mind for future batches. So let's make sure we get all that scent in there. Then I'm going to stir in my confetti. I was surprised at how soft this still is after a couple of weeks. I was really surprised, and I'm hoping that the soap batter will break it up, and yes it is. I thought it would. Yeah, that's good. The soap batter did break that up some. So this is the dark color I was hoping for a future soap. Now let's see if it stays this. I am going to put this in the refrigerator and keep it cool, so it'll probably be a couple of days before I dare and try to unmold it. Let's put this into my mold. This is my silicone column mold. I put the clips on the side because it does have a tendency to split open if you don't. So what I'll be doing is pouring it down into there, but I'm not going to try and hold this and pour. Nice thick batter like I wanted. Let me tap that down a little. And all those air bubbles came right out. And 20 ounces of oil is a pretty good recipe for this mold, especially if you have embeds, because as you can see, it's almost at the top. tap that down and get you into the picture. Ooh, I ran some down the side there. This is a messy pour. Anyway, there we have it. I am going to cover the top with some alcohol to prevent soda ash, even though that very top piece will be mine. I'm not worried about it. But there we have it. So anyway, it'll be probably a couple days before I dare try to unmold this, because I'm not going to let it go through gel. Hopefully it'll keep that color. If not, even if it does morph into pink like it supposedly does if it gets hot, the pink will be alright with this as well. I'm just testing. Anyway, I'll see you in a couple of days. Thanks for watching. Bye.